All right, if you're learning Russian, I'm sure you've hit this wall. Verbs of motion. They can be a real headache, right? Well, today we're going to tackle one of the trickiest pairs out there, Вести and Водить. Yeah, they both kind of mean to lead, but get them mixed up and, well, it's a dead giveaway. So let's get this sorted, shall we?
So this is the big one, isn't it? You're in the middle of a sentence, trying to say you're taking a friend somewhere, or maybe just that you drive a car, and boom, you freeze. Which one is it? Вести, Водить? It feels like a coin toss, but I promise it's not. Stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll not only know which one to pick every single time, but you'll know exactly why. And that's the real game changer.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll crack the code with something called the directionality rule. Then we'll look at Вести for one-way trips and Водить for round trips. After that, a quick peek at how to actually use them, and we'll wrap up with some super common phrases. Simple enough, right? Let's dive in.
All right, first up, the directionality rule. And I'm not kidding when I call this the master key. Seriously, if you get this one concept, you're not just unlocking Вести and Водить, you're unlocking the entire system of Russian motion verbs. This is huge. So let's see what it's all about.
So, what on earth is directionality? It sounds complicated, but it's actually really simple. Think of it like this. Russian takes all its motion verbs and splits them into two teams. Team 1 is for going in one single specific direction, just a straight shot. Team 2 is for, well, everything else, moving in lots of directions, doing something over and over again, or just talking about a skill in general. And this chart breaks it down perfectly. Let's make it super clear. Unidirectional, that's your one-way plane ticket. You're going from A to B. End of story. One single movement. Now, multidirectional is, well, it could be your round-trip ticket, A to B, and then back home. Or it could even be your unlimited Metro pass. You're going from A to B all the time, back and forth, over and over. It's a repeated action. This A to B idea, that's the secret. Keep it in mind.
Okay, with that rule fresh in our minds, let's meet player 1, Вести. This is our unidirectional expert. This is the verb you pull out for that single one-way journey when you're leading someone from point A to point B.
The key thing to remember about Вести is that it's all about a single concrete action. You know where you're starting, you know exactly where you're going, and it's happening just this once in that one direction. It's specific and focused. Oh, this is such a perfect example. The father leads the bride down the aisle. I mean, think about it. He is leading her to one specific place, the altar. It's a single, powerful, one-way trip. He's not pacing back and forth with her, right? It's happening once, right now. That is pure, textbook unidirectional motion. And that's why it has to be Водить.
Okay, so we've got our one-way specialist, Вести. Now let's meet its partner, Водить. This is our multidirectional champion, the verb you need for all those round trips and habitual, repeated journeys.
So basically, Водить handles everything else.
Just ask yourself a few questions. Is this something that happens over and over? Is it a habit? Is it a round trip, there and back? Or are we talking about moving around in general without one single goal in mind? If you answer yes to any of those, then boom, Водить is the word you're looking for.
Let's break this one down. My friend takes his child to hockey. Now, does he just drop the kid off at the rink and abandon him forever? Of course not. He takes him there, and then he brings him home. That's a round trip. Plus, is this a one-time event? Probably not, right? It sounds like a habit, something they do every week. So you've got a round trip and a repeated action. That's a double whammy for Водить. It's the only verb that works here.
Okay, I think we've totally got the concept down. The why is clear. Now let's switch gears and look at the how these verbs actually change when you plug them into a sentence. Time for a little grammar.
All right, here's the present tense conjugation. Now, don't get bogged down by the table. Just look for the patterns. For Вести, on the left, you pretty much hear that D sound all the way through. Я веду, ты ведешь. Easy. For Водить, on the right, there's one little curveball. The I form, я вожу, has that zh sound. But after that, it's back to a D sound. Ты водишь, он водит. Just spotting that one little difference for I is half the battle, honestly.
And the past tense is, thankfully, a bit more straightforward. You've got your usual masculine and feminine endings. For Вести, it's вёл and вела. For Водить, it's водил and водила. Super standard stuff. But the most important thing to remember is that the main rule, the directionality rule, still applies. A single trip you took yesterday, that's вёл. Taking the dog for a walk every day last summer, that was водил. The rule never changes.
Okay, now for the really cool part, because these verbs aren't just for, physically walking someone down the street. They show up in some of the most common everyday Russian phrases, and sometimes in ways that'll make you go, huh. Let's check them out.
Here are 3 big ones you're going to hear all the time: to drive a car, to behave, and to conduct a lesson. Notice how they're all over the place with which verb they use, but there's a reason for it, and the logic is actually pretty fascinating.
First up, why do you водить машину, drive a car? Well, think about it. When you say I can drive, are you talking about one specific trip you're taking right now? No, you're talking about a general skill, something you do repeatedly. You drive to work, you drive to the store. It's not a single A to B journey. It's movement in general, so it has to be multidirectional. It's got to be водить.
Okay, but what about to behave? Вести себя. This is a cool one. It literally means to lead oneself. And it makes perfect sense if you think about it. In any given situation, let's say at a fancy dinner, you are leading yourself in a specific way. You're conducting yourself along one specific behavioral path. It's not about your general personality. It's about your actions in that one context. It's unidirectional behavior. So it has to be вести.
See, it all comes back to that one simple question. So from now on, whenever you get stuck between these 2 verbs, just stop and ask yourself, one direction or many? Is this a single A to B trip, or is it a round trip, a habit, a general skill? The answer to that question is everything. One direction, вести. Anything else, водить. That's the key.
So there you have it. You now officially hold the master key to Russian verbs of motion. And the best part? This isn't just about вести and водить. The exact same logic applies to other huge pairs, like идти and ходить for walking, or ехать and ездить for going by vehicle. You haven't just learned 2 verbs, you've cracked the entire code. So the only question now is, what are you going to unlock next?